Hello and welcome again to Tuesday Talks, which is all about human conversations with business people. I'm from Rise Personal Branding Consultancy, and I am thrilled to have a gentleman, Dr. Jim Bradley, who has written a book called Rise Up today. Jim, you're very welcome.
Thanks very much, Kay.
I love your title where you say you're a highly experienced scientist, educator, facilitator and martial artist.
Aye.
So, what are you a scientist in?
Way back in the dim distant past, I did a PhD in leukemia research, but I've always worked in business after that.
Okay.
So it's always been very customer facing and educational roles that I've had.
Brilliant, brilliant. In April 2016, a personal event happened to you. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I went to bed on the Tuesday night and I was absolutely perfect. Woke up the next morning. I thought my leg was asleep because I stumbled when I got out of bed.
Okay.
Drove on to work. I work in UL and I was setting up exams that day with some fourth years. When they came in, I was taking their names and I found that I couldn't write. So not only was my leg asleep, my arm seemed to be asleep as well. So like a man, I tried to shake it out, but didn't shake out. And ended up going to my GP, who told me that he thought I had a stroke.
Okay.
And then ended up in Galway Clinic where they confirmed that I had a minor stroke. Very disconcerting lying, watching the CT scans, and you're thinking as a scientist, oh my God, that's fantastic, look, there's such and such a structure, blah, blah. And then to realise, oh, that's actually my head.
Yes.
It was a bit of an awakening,
Yeah.
But it was grand.
Okay, so how did that incident impact your life to end up writing this book?
Okay, I suppose when the consultant told me that it was actually a stroke, I have a very busy head and my head went completely silent.
Okay.
For maybe 30, 40 seconds. And in that space, in that silence, I made the decision that if I'm going to get better, it's up to me. I have to do it. I'll have lots of support from my family and from my doctors, my friends, but really what's going to get me through this is myself and what I know, so that I can get back to some form of normality. It might not be the same normal that I was before, but it'll be the best that I can be with this entity now that I had encountered.
Yeah.
And, being a business consultant and having a big interest in personal development, I had always worked in companies from the point of view of, okay, can you maximize your resources? Can you add value? Can you, use the right language so that your behavior is always positive? So, I made a very conscious decision that the language I would use would be positive.
Great, yeah.
So I never ever called myself a survivor.
Okay.
Because I figured if you tag yourself survivor, you might as well put the stroke in a rucksack and carry it about with you all the time.
Yeah.
I made the decision, listen, the stroke is something that I've had. It's in the past, now I have to move forward.
Yeah.
And basically I used a lot of the tools that I would have used in companies to maximise value and utilise resources to their utmost potential. And I put them into a 6-step guide then for a lay person to use when they're faced with any sort of personal challenge or any kind of personal change.
Yeah. So your 6 steps are based on the words Rise Up. So
Rise
do you want
Up,
to give us a quick...
Okay. I suppose when people talk about change, like say for instance your New Year's resolution, most people talk about all the stuff they're going to start to do.
Yeah.
I suppose what I want to do is I wanted to give myself the space to do some stuff. So I decided that the R would be for reduce. Is there anything in my life at the minute that I can reduce because it's not adding any value?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not adding value anymore.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then I looked and I said, okay, is there anything that I need to increase? Do I need to increase my exercise? Do I need to increase my awareness in terms of how to talk to myself? Do I need to increase my awareness in terms of how people interact with me and what I get from that? So that was the I. The S then stands for, is there anything that I need to actually start to do? So that was the 3rd step. Then, is there stuff that I need to eliminate? So that was the E. And again, coming at it, I suppose, from a consultant, educator point of view, what's in my life that doesn't add value? And in some cases, who's in my life that doesn't add value? So I didn't want any energy vampires or people coming around saying they're really sorry for me or whatever. So there was a certain process of elimination there. I suppose like anybody who runs a business, there's a lot of stuff we bring upon ourselves as well. So I said, okay, is there stuff I'm carrying at the minute that maybe somebody else should carry?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
can I unload that and, you know, without dumping it, but actually hand over maybe responsibility or accountability to other people. And then the last thing, I always try to do things more or less instantly. I said, right, for me to get through this, there's some certain things I need to park. I'm not able to do it now, but I will do it in the future. So that's where the P came up. So rise up,
Brilliant.
reduce, increase,
Yeah.
start, eliminate, unload and park. And I basically took the tools that I would teach in companies and, as I say, put it into language for the layperson. And it's structured, and the book has got, I suppose, exercises in it that make you think.
Yeah, because that's what
Yeah,
I like.
and
There's
there's
loads
lots
of
of
blank
space in it.
space, yeah, for people
Yeah.
to write their own things in it.
Their
yeah.
own reflection,
Yeah.
and you know, I suppose it's a guide. It's not exceptionally directive, excuse me, but it's designed to make you think about, okay, where am I now,
Yeah.
and where can I get? You know, I think nowadays there's an awful lot of push about things happening instantly.
Yes. Yes.
For me, I knew that my progression would not be instant, and I knew that there was a good chance that it might not get me to where it was going to be perfect. But I did make the decision, okay, if I can do this over a period of time and get to the best that I can actually be, that's the best result for me. That's optimum
Yeah.
for me.
What you said there about making a decision, I work with a lot of people as well, and it's when they actually can believe that they can do something for themselves, but then make this decision to do it. That's the actual turning point to move things forward.
Absolutely. And you know, I found that when the consultant had told me that it was a stroke, and I said, right, I need to take a wee minute for myself. And I said, okay, how am I going to measure? How am I going to set a baseline that I can judge myself whether I'm going forward or back? So I went into one of the bathrooms and, being a martial artist, fourth dan black belt, I tried to punch and I couldn't punch. So it's okay, that's not working. What about my leg? I couldn't lift my foot off the ground at all, so that doesn't work. And then I took an inventory of what did work. I could speak, I could hear, I could see, I could think, I could move. Okay, it wasn't very graceful, but I could get from A to B under my own steam.
Yes.
And with that baseline then, I said, right, this gives me something to measure. And basically I set myself very, very strict lines of progression. And some people say, did you set goals? I don't think they were goals. I think they were promises.
Brilliant. That's
I
a
made
lovely
a
way
promise that
to yourself.
I will do this because I have a gorgeous wife and I've got 3 lovely daughters, and I was doing it for them as well.
Fantastic.
You know, so I made the promises, not so much to me, but to other people, that I would do this. I never told them. I just did it. And, you know, one of the big things was, I'd been in Derry, just before, and I agreed with my brother-in-law that I would do the initial 100,
All right, yeah.
which is a 100-mile cycle from Derry to Mallinhead, back to Derry. Now, going from Derry to Mallinhead is uphill, and going from Mallinhead to Derry is also uphill.
Right.
So, you know, I decided, okay, I'm going to do that. It was in August.
Yeah.
So I started to do my training
Right.
and got that fixed.
Yeah.
And basically, once I had that done, I was fine. It took me a long time to do the cycle, but once I had it done,
You didn't have it done amazing. Yeah.
I felt, this is it, I'm back to me.
Yeah,
you know,
fantastic.
which was great.
So if people were looking at something like this, some kind of event in their lives, what would be the one thing that you would say to them to help them move forward, aside from buying a book, of course?
Apart from buying a book, absolutely. I think the key thing is never give up.
Yeah.
You know, and I suppose I'm very, very lucky I had a minor stroke. It wasn't as bad as God. You know, you see some people and what they have is far, far worse than what I had. But I think an inner core of not giving up,
Yes.
and not looking so much at what you don't have. Like, as part of the baseline, I was looking at what do I have
Yeah,
still.
that's so important. Yeah.
And then moving on and building on that. I think, you know, nowadays there's so much focus on what, oh God, you don't have this, you don't have that. Look at what you have.
Yeah.
What can you do with it?
Yeah.
And never ever give up.
Yeah. So where can people buy this book, Jim?
The book is available on Amazon. It's available as hard copy, but for tech heads, it's also available as Kindle.
All right, okay.
So they can download it on their Kindle.
Yes.
It's been on sale since April, and no one has sent any back yet.
Okay.
So I presume it's okay. It's going okay.
Yeah.
And writing the book itself was a great sort of catharsis for me as well. I thought, okay, I've got this knowledge.
Excellent.
If it helps one person,
Yes.
it's fantastic.
Yeah. Great.
And that's why I wrote it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. And if anybody wants it, go to Amazon and you can order it online.